Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mama Vic channel, and on this channel we talk about cryptocurrency, especially the trends in the cryptocurrency space. Today what we're going to talk about is something extremely curious, because we're going to see an ecosystem that failed, potentially one of the biggest failures in global financial history or crypto history, but could potentially be one of the biggest recoveries that we've seen in global financial history. So please stay tuned for the whole video and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so the first thing you see, what we're going to talk about today is Terra Luna. All of you have heard the story, one of the biggest catastrophes that the crypto space has ever seen. Not just that, one of the biggest catastrophes as far as financial collapses is concerned, because we saw over $40 billion worth of value, market capitalization completely wiped out from this ecosystem. Now, to summarize the story, there's a token called the Terra Luna token, and is used to generate UST, which is a stable coin version of mirroring the US dollar stablecoin version. So the purpose of Terra Luna, you burn one Terra Luna token to create another token of the US dollar, which creates a balance. So there's a balance in this. Okay, so the major conspiracy about what happened is that a bunch of people showed up and they wanted UST, which is the stablecoin. So they were offered UST and in exchange for Bitcoin. So I guess they were offered at a premium. Maybe if the Bitcoin price, I'm just giving an example, is say $30,000. So you get UST more than $30,000 for each Bitcoin. So they held that UST, and then eventually when the market was primed, when the bear market was setting in, they dumped all that UST on the market, exponentially increasing the amount of UST, causing a shock in the algorithm, and in retaliation the algorithm just ended up generating a lot of the Luna tokens, and this created a cascade effect or a spiral effect, a downward spiral effect that affected the network, that led the Terra Luna token to go from around $100 to 0.000 something cents right now, and the UST stablecoin that's supposed to maintain a value peg of $1 dropped to less than a couple of cents as well. So the whole network was taken down from a top 10 position to nothing. So rise of Terra 2 is coming. Guys, this is not investment advice, and I was not even an investor in Terra Luna, but I find this extremely exciting. This was a tweet on the 25th. With overwhelming support, the Terra ecosystem has voted to pass Proposal 1623, calling for the genesis of a new blockchain and preservation of our community. Now guys, guess what? This proposal was put through, and the first airdrop is actually going to happen today on the 27th, and there's many reports out there that have been written about the pre-allocation of the people that had Luna before, people that participated in the attack after that. So you bought Luna and you were still affected by the attack. There's going to be 2 snapshots that are going to be taken that are going to represent the various values. Of course, you're an earlier holder. Depending on how much you're holding, you're going to be contributed. You're going to get, they make it making the holders whole again, which I think is really good, because the community is suffering. A lot of money was wiped out, and here you come. You have Terra Luna. These guys have failed to give up. They've refused to give up, and they're going to launch Terra 2, which I think is extremely awesome for the previous owners. This was posted on May 13th. The Terra blockchain has officially halted at block 767,607,789. Terra validators have halted the network to come up with a plan to reconstitute it. More updates to come. So to see that they followed up on these tweets, despite all kinds of sentiment within the ecosystem, is extremely, it shows a whole other level of, prowess to the team. I mean, how hardworking this ecosystem and the community is willing, how the community is not willing to back down without a fight from this thing, because a lot of value was lost. So this was a proposal which was put out there by Do Kwon himself, who was pretty much the CEO of the Terra Luna ecosystem. This will be a living document to coordinate the new network launch with the community. Details are subject to change. So of course, guys, if you want to read through this document, it's a very, very good summarization of what is expected, what was expected to be achieved, and basically the plan forward. There was a lot of criticism. This report was written a while back, and there was a lot of criticism, but I can tell you today, this is being followed up on very, very vigorously. So pre-attack Luna holders distribution for all holders with a snapshot balance of 10,000 Luna or less. So they go into details. If you had Luna 10,000 or less, you'll be given this amount over a 2-year vesting period, for instance, here with a 6-month cliff. So they give all these details. If you held the UST stablecoin, you were affected. There were other versions as well, like the AUST, which is a mirror of the UST token. The purpose of creating mirror tokens or these other kinds of tokens that mirror others is so that you can use them in other decentralized finance ecosystems or other use cases, but essentially representing the same value as the original token. Then post-attack, so these pre-attack rewards and then post-attack UST rewards. So the Luna holders, the token, and the UST, the token that's a balance of the USD peg, will be compensated as well, 20% to 15%, and there's a vesting period as well. So these were proposals that were pushed out by Do Kwon himself. You can read more, and of course they also point out some of the decentralized exchanges that will be supported, the bridges, because you can bridge one token from one blockchain to another. So they're going to look into these different dynamics to see how well these people can be compensated. Of course, you can get more details about this. I'll put all these reports in the links of the description, but the point of this video is to show you these proposals were put out there and they're being followed upon right now, which is amazing. So even if you don't get, say, for example, if you had 10,000 Luna tokens and you get 5,000 instead, everyone is going to get less, which means that value proposition is going to be based upon the current supply of the tokens that are out there. So it's very exciting to see what will happen. Guys, what you're seeing right here, these are the name changes to the Terra ecosystem. Just like in Ethereum, when Ethereum was started, there was squabbles within the Ethereum team, and then the original Ethereum chain was left to be called Ethereum Classic, and the new Ethereum became Ethereum. So now here you're seeing a similar case here. Terra has been renamed to Terra Classic, which is, I guess this is UST, so Terra Classic USD, and the Luna token is now rebranded to Terra Classic, and also the logos themselves have been changed as well. Very slightly, it's in the coloring, and this stuff can all be found on the website. So Terra Luna, would essentially be Terra 2, and you can see in this case is represented with an orange and yellow color. So the market data is untracked. The project is featured as an untracked listing. So of course, this coin market puts this out if there's a new token and there's no activity yet. But this is showing that it will be once the tokens are launched, once the ecosystem is out there, it's bootstrapped, then it's going to get started. So this is very, very bullish, guys, and it gets more serious. These are some of the tweets you can watch, that you can read, that Do Kwon himself put out there. We believe this token distribution, in addition to the best efforts by the Luna Foundation Group to make UST holders whole, best solves for the varying interests and time preferences for each stakeholder group, and most important, creates the most viable path to receive the Terra to revive the Terra ecosystem. A lot of people thought this was a joke. This was basically someone trying to save something that cannot be saved, or metaphors that maybe you're trying to empty an ocean with a spoon, stuff like that. But to see that this is being followed upon, I mean, it's just exciting to see that. You know, it's really, really interesting to see how this plays out. And of course, this tweet, if you want to read it, basically it started like this: Terra is more than UST, because a lot of people are claiming that Terra Luna without the UST stable coin, it's nothing. So these guys are making the case that, hey, we are more than just the UST. We're a whole ecosystem that essentially is supposed to sprout out into various use cases, into all kinds of use cases within the ecosystem. DeFi stretching out, maybe acting as a layer 0, maybe acting as scalability, all kinds of use cases, and that's what they're alluding to. When you go to their Twitter page, they're showing all kinds of exchanges, all kinds of other ecosystems, independent builders that are willing and putting their necks out there and saying they're going to support the Terra 2 ecosystem. Guys, I'm not an investor in the Terra ecosystem, but I like when I see such community support for projects that are dying. It means the community believed in these projects. It means the projects believed in themselves, and it also means that the original creators of the projects were not there to rug pull the community, but rather an unfortunate event that could potentially actually be good in the long run. In case they're able to fix it, that event won't happen again. An attack like that could never happen again. So this is bullish for the overall ecosystem, crypto ecosystem, and it's extremely bullish to the prowess and the relentlessness of the Terra Luna team. And of course, you can see some articles out there like Binance will support the Terra network airdrop. Binance, pretty much the biggest exchange in the world, arguably. And I say that all the time because I make a comparison between Coinbase and Binance. Huobi Exchange, one of the biggest exchanges, OGs, and also currently supporting Terra Luna. Bitrue, one of the also biggest emerging exchanges, supporting KuCoin. We have others, Bybit, we have others, OKX, and these are exchanges that have been announced. Some have not even announced, but they're going to support it, so their users know that they're safe. There's other exchanges a little bit more decentralized, or in another type of arena, not really decentralized, but in another type of arena. They're also going to support Terra 2, like Gate.io will support the Terra 2 Luna migration and airdrop, and they give details of how they're perceiving the whole situation. We have other massive exchanges like Bitfinex, which is also going to support the Terra 2 ecosystem, Bitfinex to support Terra Luna airdrop. Guys, this amount of support, these exchanges supporting this token, also means that all these users are going to stay there. So it's something these exchanges have to think about, because if you do not support this ecosystem, then you potentially will lose these users in case there's a massive or a proper recovery from this ecosystem. Now, there are other independent companies out there like Rise from the Ashes, the building Terra 2. Now, this is an independent team that was not part of the Terra Luna group, just like many other teams, and they're saying that we're going to build one of the best DEXs or decentralized exchanges out there as soon as Terra 2 releases. And of course, they mention in here that none of the team members are affiliated with the Terraform Labs, but we are in awe of the products that we built, that were built on Terra. We've always wanted to contribute, and the time is now, guys. Some of us that weren't involved in the Terra ecosystem, this presents itself as a great opportunity to study from scratch, to understand why people are so bullish about this ecosystem. In the past, I personally had looked at it a little bit, but now I'm very, very curious to see how this amazing story works out. So I'm in full support of all the people that were hurt by that attack on the Terra ecosystem. Another tweet by Do Kwon. This was posted on 23rd of May to clarify, as I've noted multiple times, I don't think sending tokens to this address to burn tokens is a good idea. Nothing happens except you lose your tokens. So this was something strange that people were doing. They were so desperate, they were sending their tokens to an address, tokens that they could not recover, in hope that this will reduce the supply of the Terra token so that the value goes up. Of course, it doesn't make sense, because the algorithm is still pumping new tokens, so this essentially would not work. So this was Do Kwon telling the people, basically pleading with them to not do this, because there was no point to doing that. But either way, we see all this drama happening in the Terra ecosystem, but it's all pointing in a good direction ultimately. There was another tweet here with the passing of Proposal 1623, the proposal we looked at in the first tweet in this video. The lunatic community, that's what they call themselves, is gearing up for the next chapter in Terra's story. Get all the information you need on the Luna airdrop ahead of the launch on May 27th. Guys, guess what? Today is May 27th, so you want to be watching this space to see how this space is developing. Now, what's exciting is that this is a short article that gives you details about what is happening, and also when you go to their Terra Luna documents page, you can even find out more about the rebranding, the logos, and the mainnet when it's to launch, like 5th of May 2021. The new Terra core release is cut, network launch instructions made available for validators. 25th of May, essential app developer registration completed. 27th of May, which is today, the Genesis file created for the final launch snapshot. And again, today the network launches. So today is going to be a very exciting day. And there's a talk about pre-attack holders. This is the block within which the snapshot was taken, and the post-attack, so the people after, this is the block where the snapshot was taken. So if you're a bit more technical, you can check these blocks and see where you fit in, especially if you bought earlier. Now guys, this article, as the last part of our video, is actually a 5-minute read, quite short. I'm going to run through this article to sort of give you a rough outlay of what is to be expected today with the launch of this Terra ecosystem. So Terra 2 Luna airdrop. Terra 2 is nearly here. As a community-owned network, Terra will have its own native staking token, Luna, airdrop to its community as described in Proposal 1623. So upon genesis on May 27th of 2022, eligible holders of Luna, USTC and AUST, so those are the version of the UST stablecoin, will be airdropped Luna, so Luna tokens on the new chain. The full distribution schedule can be found below. So they give the amount of Luna you will be eligible to receive will be determined by the types of tokens you held on the Terra Classic chain and the time period that you held these tokens based on the pre-attack and post-attack snapshots and the quantity of tokens held. So the pre-attack post-attack snapshots are as follows, and I give details here. Guys, if you want to check this out, of course you know where you fall in this. And then they go about talk about eligibility. You will be eligible for the Luna airdrop if you at the pre-attack snapshot held Luna including staking derivatives less than, so what you got from staking, that will be also included, and you had less than $500,000 of AUST, and also post attack, so Luna including staking derivatives, and if you held UST, so the stable coin. And then they give more details about this. And then when will I receive my airdrop? I guess this is what most people would be interested in. As table 2 illustrates above, the distribution and vesting of airdrop Luna depends on the wallet's token type and quantity, as well as the snapshot it exists in. So date of first airdrop Genesis May 27th of 2022. At Genesis, 30% of Luna airdrop will be immediately available to the pre-attack users with wallets that had less than 10,000 Luna including staking derivatives or deposited UST in Anchor protocol, one of the biggest DEX on the Luna ecosystem, and post-attack users with any quantity of Luna including staking derivatives, UST or both. And they give examples of how this is going to be put out there, and they talk about a vesting period because they're just not going to give the tokens to people so that they can just sell them. So they're going to be 2 years, 1 year, a couple of months vesting period within which you can receive these tokens. And of course they go ahead to talk about also assets, chains, bridges, and centralized exchanges that are supported, and they give a very huge list of some of these centralized exchanges: Binance, Bitfinex, Bithumb, Bitmart. So a lot of the exchanges, Bitrue, a tremendous amount of exchanges here. And I don't think Coinbase is here, and that's not very surprising because Coinbase is regulated in the US and it gets a bit complex to deal with these things in the crypto space because America is slowing everything down for an unknown reason. So of course here they give a table that gives all the platforms that are going to be reimbursed. Anchor protocol, these are the decentralized platforms as well. So it would be nice if you held these tokens to see these protocols listed here. There's some that I know of that I'm not seeing here, so I hope they can get in touch with these protocols to make sure all the people that are affected actually genuinely recompensated, so that no one some people aren't left just holding bags and not fairly distributed. So of course then they give a brief analysis of what Terra 2 is, and I think this is extremely important to get from their words what they're saying about this. So the new Terra network will inherit the deep developer pool and passionate lunatic community that made Terra Classic the second largest smart contract blockchain behind Ethereum. As the community migrates to the new chain, most of the popular Terra Classic projects will be joining them, including Astroport, Prism, Random Earth, Spectrum, Nebula, and many others. So built with interoperability in mind, Terra will be the gateway to the wider Cosmos ecosystem. Oh my god, guys, this is amazing. The fact that they're keeping Cosmos as the chain they're building on. If you don't know about Cosmos, I suggest you read about it or you check out some of the videos I've done in the past about the Cosmos ecosystem. There's many other videos out there. It's a very, very impressive ecosystem, and to see that they're actually still building on the Cosmos ecosystem and beyond, oh, that's amazing. So about calculation, you can get more details about some of the calculations, the airdrop, some of the, well, caveats that they're going to follow. The airdrop ratios depicted below are estimations. So cross-chain assets such as wrapped UST, so other tokens mirroring UST on Ethereum, on Polygon Matic, on the Binance Smart Chain, will be set aside and locked in the community pool at Genesis. Distribution of funds can only be made after the Genesis. So after the Genesis, I guess, release of the new chain, the Genesis block, then after that, of course, the tokens, once the network starts pumping and is alive, then the token vesting period will start. And of course you can get more details about this, especially if you're invested in this ecosystem. So guys, as a final word, I think this is extremely positive to see that in light of what has happened, this attack, the amount of money that has been lost. So not only do we see that the crypto market is still surviving, but we also see that an ecosystem, by the power of the community and resilience, they can actually revive themselves if they set their mind, if they knew that what they were building had a lot of value. If they believed in the value they were building, they can always save it, provided they can explain why it failed in the first place. So guys, I hope you learned something, and I think this is really interesting news, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.